He gave us the owner's card, which I then called the owner and gave a glowing review, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then yeah, no, I came back like yeah, 20 minutes later with 20 bucks in hand. I'm like, hey, you guys remember me? And yeah, they had me this fucking massive, fucking like this big, and it's just like like the face of it is a smiling skull, like a smiling skull clear glass. I'm like, I must have this in my life.
Yeah, no. Technically we're live right now, but all they can hear is the music. And they can't see anything. I shouldn't have done that because you're still on this table. At least your ears are. But that's beside the point. So here I am, beer review day number 4. Yeah, let's get right into it. I want to welcome Socially Distanced Craig. Socially Distanced Craig.
Hola.
I tried to set up a camera to catch him. It wasn't working, and we needed to get this done because we've got some StarCraft to play.
Huzzah.
I also realized this light is way too bright for what I'm trying to do right now.
Beep boop beep.
There. I apologize for that. Okay, so day number 4. As you know, we've done day 1, which was Fist City. I didn't actually do a video of that. I apologize. But again, you can check out my review on Untapped on that. Follow myself. Follow Mr. Scott Tackaberry. He knows more than me, so you know he just doesn't have time to make videos like this. So I'll take that. Then we've got Qualified from Taxman Brewing. I think that's been my favorite so far. I'll say right now is Qualified from Taxman Brewing, definitely my favorite. But if I only had one beer for the rest of my life out of all of these, it would probably be Pukoktoberfest. Just because of how easy it was to drink. Will still be a dark and very sweet beer, which is very nice. But today we have from the Temperance Beer Company, so that's a Prohibition reference if you don't get it, Gatecrashers, an English-style ale IPA. So I didn't have to do a ton of time to do research and give you cool factoids about IPAs, but I don't really need to. I'm very familiar with them. Just to give you a cool little factoid, because they're fun. IPAs stands for India Pale Ale. And the reason it's called an India Pale Ale is because the inclusion of hops in beer, one of the reasons for that was to preserve the beer and make it last longer. So when they were making beer to go to India, sail on the ships, way back in the day, they had to add a ton more hops for it to last the voyage and still be good. Hence the India Pale Ale being a very hoppy type of beer. This one's from from Temperance Beer Company, and they are in Evanston, Illinois. So a good old Illinois beer. Let's read the label here. Gatecrasher gets into the sold-out show without a ticket. It doesn't have to shout for people to listen. It arrives fashionably late, but closes the place down. Our India Pale Ale stands apart from the bitter crowd and and entices a bountiful aromatic hops and a touch of malt sweetness, proving there's more than one way to crush a gate. Okay. All right. Let's get into this. And I've got, I've never actually used this glass before. It's got some wavy things in it there. But we'll get into it. I don't know if there's going to be enough room in this glass for the whole beer, but we'll find out here. How you doing over there, socially distanced, Greg?
I am relaxing quite. Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. Oh, is the whole thing going to get in there? Let's find out. It's not going to happen, no, because it's...
Because you're a terrible pourer.
You know, I'm starting to learn that. The more of these I do on video, I'm starting to learn. I need practice.
You need to tip the glass more.
Well, you need to shut up more. All right. So, I mean, yeah, it's an IPA. It's clear. It's not a cloudy IPA, right? So it's a very clear IPA. So I'm expecting, pretty crisp taste. Hops. I'm actually not expecting too much hops out of this just by the looks of it. Let's see. Now, I'm getting a lot of hop scent, but you can do that through dry hopping. You don't actually have to get the hop smell. You don't have to actually have a ton of hops flavor in there. Dry hopping is essentially when you are making the worts, so that's all it's basically like wheat tea, or I suppose it would be barley tea, and what you're doing is you're boiling the malts, which is grain gone through a process. Won't get too much into that. There's 4 different stages so you can add hops into, and the important one in this sense would be the dry hopping stage, which is you just throw it in right at the end. And I think it's in there for 5 minutes, I want to say. It's been a while since I've done a from-scratch homebrew. And in those 5 minutes, the only part that comes out of the hops is the stuff that adds scent, and because you stop the boiling at that point, it doesn't break that down more. So you literally are just throwing a bunch of hops in there. Oh, Nicole's watching. Hey, Nicole. Phrasing. I don't know what that was in reference to. You're gonna have to put some context in there. I've said lots of things, and I wasn't really watching the chat because I'm bad at videos or something. I don't know. Anyways, that's how you get the. Oh, okay. All right. Yep. Dry hopping was the phrase, from which we got the phrasing. Anyways. So what that does is basically just adds a lot of aroma. So, but before this thing gets warm with my meandering, let's, yeah, definitely getting some hops there. Okay, so more hops than I expected. Okay, so I'm starting to understand one of the things they're saying in the description there. So there's actually a lot of hop flavor in this, but if you're someone who has tried very hoppy beers, you don't, there's that sharpness, that bitterness, the aggressiveness. It's not in here, and I'm actually finding this to be a common theme in sort of some of the really good craft beers these days. Is they're finding a way to get the hops in there, but just not as much bitterness. So you're getting to taste the different types of hops, the flavor profiles that they add, but you're not getting that bitterness that really puts people off, which is cool. The first beer I had that was like that was Spies, and it's actually from Kilter Brewing here in the city, and they knocked that one out of the park because that was a really good. I don't even know if I think you can. They're still making it, but Kilter beers are a little harder to get, just because they're not that big as of yet. But I digress. Yeah, no, definitely getting a lot of hops, but not that bitter tartness. That is sort of that negative, turn from the hops that you might get. Yeah, I mean, other than that, it's very comparable to Fist City. I think it's a little bit more mellow than Fist City was, as far as the aggressiveness that I'm getting from the hops. Although there's no less hops flavor, so there's still I would say the same amount of hops flavor. But whereas Fist City was probably more I'm gonna use some fancy words here. More floral, more it tasted more like I was eating a pine tree comparatively, if that makes any sense to you. Whereas is this guy's a little bit more subtle, and it's not subtle. It's not. Again, not aggressive, but it's not subtle. But there's a good amount of hops in here, and it's fairly tasty. I could see drinking 2 or 3 of these for sure. Yeah. Craig, do you want to try it? Socially distanced Craig?
I will.
Tell us what you think. Okay, so socially distanced Craig. We're going to try some.
As Alex was saying, good initial hop kick. It's more about just that initial punch, and it just goes down smooth after the fact. And it finishes off clean.
Having some problems with my streams here. I'm going to